I don't think people actually know each other anymore. Not really, not in the way that matters. We've built this whole sprawling digital empire of constant communication, infinite scrolling, permanent availability, but somehow it feels like we've never been further apart. Everyone's wired in, always on, always reachable, and yet it's all so hollow, so performative, so thin. Every conversation feels like a transaction, every moment of vulnerability turned into a status update, a reel, a curated glimpse into some fictional life we manufacture for strangers. The irony is unbearable sometimes. How we convinced ourselves that we're more connected than ever, when in reality we're all just screaming into our own little voids, desperate for someone to notice, for someone to care, for someone to prove we aren't invisible in this endless noise. I miss the kind of closeness you could feel without words, without notifications, without public proof of your existence. I miss walking down a street with a friend in silence, not needing to fill every second with noise, because you both understood you were there, and that was enough. Now, it feels like even the people who claim to know you are really only familiar with the character you play online, the edited version of your thoughts, your grief, your hope. Everyone has a brand now. Every smile, every tear, every fight, every crisis. It's content. It's a chance to build an audience, to chase likes, to be witnessed in a way that matters less than we tell ourselves. And in that chase, something important died. Real connection, the kind that isn't broadcast, the kind that isn't validated by hearts on a screen, the kind that exists simply because two people choose to give a shit about each other when no one else is watching. We used to know our neighbors. We used to sit outside at night and talk about nothing. We used to feel safe being unremarkable, unnoticed by the world, because what mattered was how you treated the people close to you, how you held their grief, how you showed up when it counted. Now it's about how many followers mourn you when you're gone, how viral your eulogy can go. Even death feels commodified, another brand activation disguised as grief. And the people left behind, half of them are too numbed by the glow of their screens to even feel it. The other half turn it into a post. I scroll through my feed and see people announcing tragedies like it's a press release. Strangers flooding the comments with generic condolences, because that's what you do now. It's etiquette. Nobody actually knows how to mourn. Nobody knows how to sit with pain, with silence, with absence. It's too uncomfortable. So we turn everything into spectacle, and in doing so, we lose the ability to actually be there for each other in any way that matters. I don't remember the last time someone asked me how I was and actually waited to hear the answer. Not the polite version, not the acceptable, palatable summary you're supposed to give. I mean the real answer. The kind you hesitate to say out loud because it feels like a burden. And that's the thing, isn't it? We've been conditioned to feel like being honest about our loneliness, our fear, our exhaustion is an inconvenience to other people, because everybody's drowning and nobody has the strength to carry anyone else. So we build walls, we master small talk, we wear faces we don't even recognize anymore. It's strange how even when people do gather now, it's never fully present. Phones on the table, half a dozen conversations happening simultaneously, no one really here. People taking photos of their meals to show people they don't actually like, performing happiness for people who wouldn't notice if they disappeared. I see people film moments they should be living, chasing proof that they had a good time instead of actually having one. It's all about documentation, about the record, about being seen. And somehow the act of performing it drains every drop of authenticity out of it. I used to think maybe it was just me, that maybe I was broken, wired differently, incapable of connecting like everyone else seemed to. But the more I talk to people, really talk, the more I realize how many of us feel this aching absence and are too afraid to admit it. We've built a culture that rewards the mask, not the face beneath it. And those rare moments when someone lets it slip, when you catch a glimpse of real sorrow, real joy, real fear, it hits like a punch to the chest, because you realize how starved you've been for something honest. I remember when eye contact meant something, when someone could look you in the eyes and you'd feel seen, not just acknowledged, when words carried weight, because you didn't have 1,000 of them flying at you every minute. Now, it's all noise, a constant flood of meaningless interaction, likes, comments, DMC stories. You exist as a series of notifications, reduced to metrics, to engagement stats. And the worst part is how easy it is to mistake it for connection. How easy it is to think you matter because a post did well, because a stranger called you beautiful, because a meme made someone laugh. But it's all surface. It evaporates the second you log off. Nobody comes to find you when you go quiet. Nobody notices the absence, because there's always someone else to fill the feed. You could disappear, and most of the people you think of as friends would scroll past your last post without a second thought. It terrifies me how replaceable we've made each other, how friendships end with silence instead of confrontation because ghosting is easier than hard conversations, how love feels disposable because you can always swipe again, how people treat relationships like content strategies, partnerships like brand deals, and the people who want something deeper, something messier, something real get labeled intense, too much, exhausting. We've gamified human connection, and in doing so, we've stripped it of everything that made it worth having. Vulnerability is weakness. Dependence is unattractive. Wanting someone too much is clingy. So we stay surface level, half present, pretending it's enough. And it isn't. Not for me. I miss the kind of relationships where you didn't have to explain yourself, where someone could read your silence and understand what you needed without you having to phrase it in a way that wouldn't make them uncomfortable. I miss being allowed to be ugly in front of people, not physically, but emotionally, to cry without apology, to be irrational, to say the wrong thing and not be written off for it, to be a whole, flawed person without it being an act of rebellion. Now everything feels conditional. People love you as long as you fit the version of you they've decided they can tolerate. The second you deviate, the second you get inconvenient, you're a problem. And problems get muted, unfollowed, cut off. I don't know how to fix it. I don't even know if it can be fixed. The damage feels generational, cultural, baked into the infrastructure of our lives. We built a world that prioritizes constant stimulation over quiet, consumption over contentment, appearance over substance. We invented endless ways to talk without ever actually saying anything, and in the process, we forgot how to listen, forgot how to be present, forgot how to be human in any way that isn't marketable. It wears on you after a while. The isolation, the performative connection, the endless chase for validation in spaces designed to commodify your attention. You start to feel like a ghost in your own life, visible but untouchable, heard but never understood. And maybe that's what we are now, a species of ghosts, haunting each other through screens, too afraid to be alone, too afraid to be real, trapped in a loop of pretending, of curating, of chasing. And somewhere deep down, we all know it's killing us, this artificial intimacy, this constant performance. But we keep doing it because the alternative is scarier, because it's easier to drown in noise than face the silence. And I wish I didn't understand that so well.